we have the new moon solar eclipse happening at 2 degrees of Scorpio on October 25th at 3:48 a.m. Pacific, which is 6:48 a.m. Eastern. Check your local time to see when this lunation is occurring for you. So yeah, we are in eclipse season, and eclipse season is a dynamic time. It is a highly charged up, high octane time. On top of that, during this eclipse, we're going to have Mars going into retrograde within the next 5 days. Well, during eclipse season, Mars will be retrograde. And interestingly, Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So how this Scorpio new moon will be affected will be somewhat intense and maybe confusing in some sorts of ways. And it'll also be the co-ruler for that Taurus full moon that we have going on, which will be November 8th. And by that point in time, Mars will be fully in retrograde. So this is going to be an interesting eclipse season for sure. And looking at the vibes on the graph, it definitely has its interesting vibes to it. There's a bit of solitude energy coming up on the 26th. So that's the day after this eclipse, although we can feel eclipse energies for a bunch of days. We do have some solitude energy mixed in with mental energy. So there's going to be a lot of needing time to yourself, having some deep contemplation about what's next. So it's basically a period of needing time and space to figure out where you're headed and what's next for your life. From the 25th to about the 26th, there is a small amount of mental energy. There's some family and friends energy and some social energy, although there are still those low-key amounts of the solitude energy. So the first day of this eclipse, it could feel like a mixed bag. It could feel like, you're wanting to be around people, and then you're needing to go off again and just contemplate what's going on and what you need for your life. If you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I read the eclipses very different than I would a regular lunation. There's a lot of reasons for that. Eclipses are highly keyed up energy. Eclipses are malefic energy. And for that reason, I don't do that checklist. I don't do the reflective questions. One of the main reasons being those are things that you just don't do during eclipses. Number two, don't manifest during eclipses. This is a changing of the lights of the luminaries. It's a disruption. Eclipses affect weather patterns and our light source. So those are times where you may not want to do that. You don't want to be journaling. You don't want to be manifesting. You absolutely do not want to light candles. I get very preachy around this time of year or when we have eclipse season. So definitely something to be mindful of, because I will be going in a different direction during eclipse season. Once we get to the new moon in Sagittarius, I will read these lunations back to normal, back to our normal scheduled programming. But for right now, I'm going to look at all the things that could possibly occur during these eclipses and what eclipses actually are. Because this is a new moon, this is a solar eclipse, and this will be a partial solar eclipse. A partial eclipse is when the moon is not getting 100% coverage from the Earth's shadow. At a solar eclipse, the moon moves between the Earth and the sun, resulting in the sun's light being obstructed. So this is what I mean about the changing of the light of this luminary. It is obstructed, so we have periodic moments of darkness. Unlike lunar eclipses, these ones can only be seen in specific areas. This eclipse in particular will be visible in Europe, the easternmost part of Greenland, some parts of India, northern parts of Africa, the Middle East, and western parts of Asia. On an energetic level, the way I like to describe eclipses is think of a software update or a patch update or just overall a system update. When we get any type of system update, we're clearing out an old script, removing any bugs or other glitches in favor of an updated version of said script. So when we do these types of updates, we turn off our computer, we restart our computer, we wait for everything to boot back up again, and then we've got this brand new program or this updated version of a program or operating system of sorts. So the lights go out, the power goes out for a little bit in favor of a new script completely, which is one of the main reasons why you should not manifest during eclipses, because again, it's a shutting off of those lights. And in that process, something can go wrong. I wrote an entire article about this. I will leave a link of that in the description box below if you'd like to read more in detail about eclipses and all the other effects that go on during eclipses natally and transit-wise. So when it comes down to some of the occurrences that could happen during this eclipse, with this being a new moon, this is about a new start. This being a solar eclipse, this is about masculine energy. So this could be a shift or a new start within masculine energy in our life. Of course, this will be usually involving scorpionic themes. Eclipses create changes that we can see within the next 6 to sometimes 18 months. So it's a longer duration than you would get like during a new moon. A new moon is usually a 6-month period, a 6-month incubation cycle. With eclipses, it can last longer, or it could occur within that time frame, within that 6 to 18 months. So this could be about initiating something new in Scorpio energy. This could be a period where you feel called to remove what's caused you to be mentally stagnant, or prompt the urge to work on old trauma, things that have been repressed. This could be a period of retrieving some of those things that were buried beneath the surface for you, whether that be mentally, whether that be emotionally, whether that be a period where you're uncovering things. With this being in Scorpio, this could be an unveiling moment. This could be a moment where you're finally coming to a truth of a situation. A truth of a situation doesn't always have to be negative. It could be something where you've been trying to access information and you're finally getting that aha moment. You're finally getting that missing piece to the puzzle. You're finally having that moment of clarity within this energy. So it can uncover something that's been deeply buried beneath the surface. This could prompt you to get more in touch with your emotions. This could also prompt you to get more in touch with spirituality, get in touch with your psychic side. If there has been any interest in spiritual practices, occult knowledge, or esoteric things, this could prompt you within that direction as well. Because within the realm of secrets and hidden things, this could be about accessing hidden knowledge. Knowledge that falls under the radar of typical society, which of course falls under the umbrella of New Age or occult stuff. Things that the status quo isn't necessarily interested in looking at or doesn't want to look at because they don't understand it, because it's a very misunderstood energy. So this could be a period where you're either embracing that, or you're finding yourself coming back to that, or you're finding yourself just wanting to truly connect with your spiritual side. This could be a time where you're prompted to take things more seriously in your life, and that could be in so many different facets. Scorpio energy wants us to go beyond the superficial, and a lot of the times this is taking things seriously within our life. This is taking our relationships seriously, taking our career seriously, taking our finances seriously, even setting some serious boundaries with others. So where you might have been soft or open with people, or just letting things roll off your back, this could be a time where you're taking certain things like that seriously. You're setting some limits with people. You're not letting things slide when it comes down to things that other people have done that may be wrong. So this could be a period of making sure you have the right energies around you, and you're not just letting things slide for the sake of having people around. With this energy as well, this is about elimination with Scorpio energy. So this could be about eliminating waste in your life, things that are wasteful, things that take up too much of your time, things that are not healthy for you, breaking bad habits, patterns, and addictions, or detoxifying things that are clogging up your system. So this could be a period of releasing waste from your life overall. But Scorpio is an energy about delving deep into situations. So instinctively, intuitively, psychically, we could feel compelled to just go deep within our lives and fix situations, repair situations that are worth our time, clear out situations that aren't worth our time, and make sure we're finding a balance so we have some sort of security in our lives. So of course, this energy can be intense and feel turbulent for those reasons. So do the best you can when some of these themes pop up, especially if you're one of the people being aspected by this, and this would be the fixed sign, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, between 0 to about 8 degrees of these sign placements. Let's look at these transits and see what else we can expect from this lunation. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps this channel grow. And if you'd like to support the work of this channel, you could do so by buying me a fresh cup of coffee. There's a link in the description box below. So yeah, this lunation has a mixed bag feeling to it. It is definitely edgy. It has an interesting tone to it due to the fact that Mars will be in retrograde within the next 5 days, and Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So the ruler of this moon has some difficulties about it. It is in interesting aspects. It has one stabilizing alignment, so hopefully that mitigates certain things, but Mars, the ancient ruler of Scorpio, is going to be making transits to Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto, and the lunar nodes that are going to be edgy. We will need to be mindful of our emotions and not reacting erratically, because this energy in itself can create situations where we blow things out of proportion. We might misunderstand a situation, and as a result, we're reacting negatively. We're reacting in an angry manner. This could be a period where we're learning how to work on our temper and how to emotionally regulate ourselves and not get involved in drama. This could be about not taking the bait from a toxic person that's trying to get you to react. And because the lunar nodes are here and because the South Node is what we're letting go of, this could be a pattern that we have in our lives that we need to release during this lunation. And of course, it can be about putting the kibosh on a situation and clearing out the negativity in your life when it comes down to some of the relationships where this type of drama is created. Pluto happens to be the modern ruler of Scorpio, and it being connected to Mars in this way can also key up some of these elements and bring out some patterns that we might have forgot of, or uncover certain things that we might have swept under the rug, or drudge up conversations, old gossip, or drudge up an old debate with someone where there's never going to be a resolution. This could also have us going back and forth with dominant types or people who feel like they need to control the conversation and control the narrative. So it's definitely something we want to look out for with this energy. The sun and the moon is also going to be connected to Jupiter and Pluto in harder alignments. So we really have to watch the way we emotionally react. Try to not react if someone bruises our ego in a certain way, because that Sun square Pluto can be about bruised egos and taking the bait when someone's wanting to start something. We have a Scorpio stellium going on top of that, with the moon, the sun connected to Venus, which is going to further rev up all that scorpionic energy at the South Node. The good thing about this is at least it will rev up our need for transformation and making changes, so we could feel motivated to create change that we need to ensure that we're eliminating the things that suck out the joy in our lives. Coming back to Mars, at least Mars is making a trine with Saturn. This is a retrograde alignment, but it is a great retrograde alignment in the sense where it helps us reevaluate what kind of action plan we want for ourselves, how we're going to create it, and it helps us in terms of solidness. It helps bring in an air of patience, which there's a bit of an issue with that with this lunation, with all the reactionatory energy that's going on, but this may mitigate certain things. This may help us take a step back and realize that we don't want to react in a certain way. We need to think this through before we do anything, silly, stupid, before we do something impulsive. So this Mars-Saturn situation can get us on track if everything is getting too edgy. So we could bounce back from some of this harder stuff that's going on during this lunation. So yeah, the alignments coupled with a solar eclipse in Scorpio is definitely an edgy one. There are some mitigating factors, so hopefully that's holding us together. Hopefully that's a glue holding us together through this lunation. But for the most part, try to stay as grounded as possible. And if you're in situations where someone is trying to bait you and you have the luxury to walk away, definitely walk away and don't indulge this person, because it's just not worth your time and it's just going to create more drama. And this is about releasing what no longer serves us anymore. So use this as an opportunity to walk a solid path and discard the toxic situations in your life. Later, guys, and see you in the next episode.